We've been honoured to film one of these, a Mk7 Fiesta ST.
It is, we've been very kindly lent to this Friday, haven't we, Martin?
We certainly have. I will say a quick mention to Nicola. Thank you very much for this car. Oh, me being a Ford man, as you know, I love these sort of things. So what do we have here?
We have an ST2, don't we?
I think, well, I thought at first we have an ST2. We're not quite sure. It could be an ST3. I was basing it on the seats, as we'll go into more in depth with the interior later. But anyway,
it's an ST2.
We have the basic Fiesta ST. We do. We all the main bells and whistles. We've got the 1.6 4-cylinder engine. It is the EcoBoost engine, which we do know has a brake horsepower of 179. And a good, and I still say to this day, a good 0 to 62 time of 6.9 seconds.
Not to be sniffed at, is it?
It isn't.
Obviously, it is easily tunable. This one, however, is stock, isn't it?
This is all stock. It's never been messed about with or fettled in any way. This car actually comes with an overboost feature as well, which was unique to this one.
I don't know a lot about this, although I have heard.
It's great if you're going to have a bit of a drag race. It has an overboost feature of about 12 seconds, which gives it a bit more oomph.
Yeah.
It can take the brake horsepower up to 199 brake horsepower
for that period.
For 12 seconds, then it runs out a little bit. It's a nice little thing, and it also gives it a very unique sound, which I just picked up on when I brought it to this car park.
Not that you use an overboost.
I wasn't using I must stress I wasn't using overboost. No, I drove it very carefully here, but even so, it has that nice little grunt about it. So don't write this engine off in this one. It's still a cracking little hatch. As we know, it's the Mk7 and it is the older styling, but I don't think it's lost anything at all, has it?
Not at all.
Not a thing. I still think this looks aggressive and purposeful in every single angle. We have, and I like this sort of colour, very similar to my ST line, we have these grey alloys.
I think they're part of the style pack, aren't they?
They are, Craig. Red calipers.
They're the giveaway.
They are.
Normally, if you don't have the style pack, you get sort of black calipers, don't you, and silver wheels.
Yeah.
The majority of STs, there's not many that don't have it, really.
I really think these red calipers and that set it all off well, especially with this lovely paint finish. It's very similar to what I had in my ST3, and I would probably put it down as spirit blue. If anyone knows different, let us know. But I'm sure it's spirit blue, yes.
Quite possibly, I think, personally, the best colour for this car, I think.
If I was hunting one out, I'd either get it in two colours.
Yeah.
Black.
Yeah.
Or this.
Yeah. I would say
I'd be taken with black.
Yeah, I would say either race red or this personally, but it's down to personal preference.
Well, my ST line will shy away from race red for now, but yeah, we've got all the usual. We've got this, like the Mk8 ST has a solid spoiler.
Yeah.
We now have, obviously, back to this one with the inserts. I still like
it. It does look really aggressive, doesn't it? It does look really.
It seems. I don't know. It seems more purposeful.
Yeah,
this sort of spoiler, as if it really is.
You do tend to get a bit of a puddle when it rains, though.
Yeah, we've got to gloss over that. But yeah, we've got all as usual. We've got as ST badging. We've got this lovely little honeycomb down the inland diffuser, but we've got the colour coded that separates it all. And there's two twin tailpipes there, which,
and of course this diffuser as well, going back to that differentiates the ST properly.
It does. It's
normal Fiestas don't have that.
It's little things that set it apart. For those in the know, they'll know straight away it's an ST. For those that don't drive one, you'll know it's an ST. I do believe it is slightly smaller than the Mk8 Fiesta. We know that now.
It tends to happen, doesn't it? They always tend to grow a little bit with each generation.
Yeah, we've got the original light clusters up here, whereas we know they're different lower down on the Mk8. But yeah, still a damn good style then. I don't think they've lost any style in them.
I think they've done really well with this, because I think what they've done is they took a normal Fiesta and just give it the ST treatment, and it's been quite effective.
Yeah, I mean, let's not forget now, the Fiesta of this age was getting a bit long in the tooth, especially on the interior.
There's no shine away from that, is there?
But I think as a good driver's hot hatch, this still is up there. I would not write this car off at all, it's still up there.
But you've got to remember, of course, when this came out, it might, obviously, today it does look a little bit maybe old-fashioned compared to, not so much old-fashioned, but a bit dated compared to the new one. But when this came out, not specifically the ST, but this shape Fiesta, it was absolutely bang today.
Well, you see, you saw a lot of what they call the Z-Tech S1s with the on and things like that.
See, I
trying
used
to be one of these, basically.
I used to have a Z-Tech S Fiesta that was the previous generation to this Fiesta. It was Mark 6. It was Mark 6. And the styling of this looks a lot more aggressive, I think, than that.
Yeah.
I actually think that it's softened up a bit with the latest one, but then again...
It has. One feature I do like, it might seem like a very tiny feature, but the aerial at the front, whereas all the brand new Fiestas have the aerial at the back and it's a stubby one. I prefer that.
I do as well.
I think a beasting aerial like that gives it a much more
I prefer the style at the front of the car, generally.
Yeah, I do. The mirrors, now this is one thing, I've got used to the mirrors on my Mk8 and I think these are very big and pointy. I noticed it when I set off driving it, I thought, these mirrors seem like, they're pointing out like torpedoes, they seem massive.
Yeah.
But they are what they are. They went with the styling of this car at the time. And we also have, and me being me modding cars, they have that area where you could get your own sort of put your own vent thing in.
Yeah, put your own sticker. Yeah.
I'd be doing that straight away. I'm not going to do it, Nico.
It's like a triangular shape, isn't it?
I am not going to get any graphics out and start like this one, but I'm not going to do that.
Not going to mod someone else's car.
No, it just looks different when you do that, and it makes it a bit more unique. But it's the front. We've got to come back now to the front because for all this front is now the Mk7 ST, basically, and we know the Mk8 is a completely different look. I still think this is very aggressive and sharp and clean. I still believe this, and with the shape of the body like that instead of being smooth, I still think it has a purposeful look.
The lights as well also, because you only had these lights on the ST and the sort of top titanium X models. The ones with the clear projector lights there and the LED lights coming down there.
Yeah, I like these. So we've churned over this car and we've compared it with mine. I know my Mk8 is an ST line, but it's basically what the Fiesta ST looks like. We've had a look at different things compared, even under the bonnet and stuff like that, and we've argued and said, no, this looks better, that doesn't, and so on.
There's a lot of debate, but one thing I will point out...
It's the interior, isn't it?
This gloss black grille. I think what they could have done is made these bits gloss black as well.
You see, you're going along like me, and I have that gripe with the ST line, even so now. I think they should sort of match them up, but they don't seem to do the Fords. I don't know, do they run out of plastics? What do they do in the factory?
Take much, would it?
Do they have an argument?
Having said that,
it still looks brilliant. And this is where we will, as I was saying, when we mention interior, this is what I won't say let's down this Mk Fiesta. I'll say it's what needed doing when the new one came out. It needed.
It's the thing that really, above anything else, that gives away the car's age.
It is. Outside, no, this still looks as new, as fresh on the outside as any other.
I agree,
and it's still a brilliant contender. Would even stand up well to the new Mk8 Fiesta ST.
No doubt,
we do know the Mk8 Fiesta ST is quicker, much more refined, it's more technical inside and completely different on the outside.
It's going to be, it's another generation.
It's moved on, but this is still a damn good hot hatch for today's market. It was just the interior which dulled down a bit.
This was considered probably Britain's best hot hatch for year upon year upon year.
Massive seller.
And there's a reason for that under this. It is a driver's car.
It's typical Ford, and me, as you know, everybody's getting to know this now, me being a Ford man. The moment I got in this car and started to drive away, these guys, I don't know if they saw it, but my smile got bigger and bigger, and I thought, yes, I'm back in my ST sort of driving mode now. And just a short journey to here was brilliant. I was buzzy when I got out of the car, and then I had to get back in my Fiesta ST Line.
Not that it's a downgrade.
Not by all means, no. It's not a downgrade, but it's different. But now driving this makes me think, boy, I want a Mk8 Fiesta ST. Because I want to see how it's improved, so I've got to do that. That's a tick on the list I've got to do.
That will come in time, and we'll be sure to show it you.
We're going to touch on the inside now, and we're going to see this car on the move and get some good shots of it, and really enjoy it today, because it's a thanks to her. I will say again, Nicola, it's a thanks to her we're in this thing. Without any further ado, let's have a look on the inside.
Let's have a look.
So we've now stepped into the inside of the car.
We have indeed.
It's the thing which I really want to point out and stress about the Mk7 Fiesta as a whole and the ST, and it is the interior. Now, let's not forget when this car was launched, this was cutting edge, wasn't it, Craig? It was
bang up today.
This was a brilliant interior, well designed, well thought out, a nice cabin to be in. But as we know with any car of any make and model, things move on. So what we find, thankfully, in this one, we get the very good up-to-date Sony DAB radio CD player with all the functions and everything you need there. I'll say this Sony system's fairly well laid out with easy to use buttons and everything for the volume and so on, and a good menu. We obviously get a tiny display, and this is what the Fiesta was sort of lacking by these dates with these cars. The display was small but easy to read and crisp. But it's simple things like your plastics were now getting a bit harsh, things like that. And things like that. But the one thing that I've got to touch on is the steering wheel. It seems just like a standard Fiesta steering wheel, except for the ST logo in.
It's just like they seem to put that on as a afterthought.
It does, doesn't it? But I wouldn't let it worry me. It's a niggle, and if you're looking for perfection of cars, you're not looking at this one really. So, to be fair, we are fairly well equipped. We have all the ventilation, air conditioning, circulation,
heated windscreen and all that kind of stuff.
We've got all the bells and whistles for everything. Front heated windscreen, heated seats, magic, love heated seats. These are part cloth as well as leather, and I think there'd be more hardware in like this and the greater Recaro seats in any STs.
They are really very comfortable indeed.
I remember them from my Focus STs and everything, and the seats they're just perfectly figure hugging. They're just right. You can go long journeys in these seats and not worry. Like I said, we've got little chrome touches, door handles and things like that around the vents. The window vents, the little side vents, I really like. I like how you can open them quite easy, and they spin and revolve. They're brilliant. They're very good vents there. It's like I say, the Fiesta, the Mk7, just was suffering a bit of a dated interior, but if you're more concerned about this car drives and looks on the outside than that, basically it's not a worry, is this interior? Not really. I mean, I love these charcoal pattern, colour of the fabric of the seats with the leather, the ST logo, everything goes well. They're just nice seats though, they're nice to fill.
Well, I think they are bucket-like, look very aggressive, but they're not so aggressive that they're uncomfortable to sit in though.
You've a nice bit of rear view from the back as well with this, I know.
And of course you've got the privacy glass in the back.
Yeah, we've got that as well as standard with STs. But as you can see, down here, we've got 3 controls, but 2 are blanked off, so there must have been other features. We've got as stability control off, which you can have fun and games when you're not that off.
Which is a giveaway you're in an ST with that button.
Definitely, when you see buttons like to turn traction off and things like that. ESC, when you turn that off, you have plenty of fun with it. But that's about it there. I did once claim that this mark for the Fiesta in general, the buttons look like they've been sneezed onto the dash. But I was referring to the other stereo, the cheaper stereo, where all the buttons are crammed together pointing.
And the Sony one's different, didn't it?
It's not the case with this, because of this ST getting the Sony stereo system. Your buttons are well laid out. They're in much better proportion, aren't they?
It's a very well designed and a very good quality sound as well.
It is. You get some good sound from that. You've obviously got your everything for your mirrors and your power windows and everything.
I quite like how the door speakers are integrated.
I remember this from a Fiesta I used to have a titanium one on a 59 plate, and it was like this, where they integrate the speakers with the handles and things.
Nice design touch, that.
It is good thinking. As gauges, as dials and that, they are clear. I do like the red dial. I remember this from my Focus STs and things like that. You got the red for your needles and things like that. Tiny little bit of information right in the centre, and it's a very tiny strip computer of your miles to empty, things like that. Just the simple things you need, basically. And we've got a lovely 6-speed gearbox. It's still standing up, is this gate for this, for changing.
It's an absolute gem of a gearbox.
It's a lovely gear change, is this, and they haven't lost it with the Mk8. They've just tweaked on this, because this shows how good this was and still is.
Yeah.
One thing I keep forgetting, the reverse is in the other direction of my Fiesta. But that is about it. It's a lovely 6-speed gearbox.
We've got your auxiliary point there as well.
We have. me being me with cup holders, as I always say, we have 2 spring-loaded cup holders down here. Always handy cup holders. But one thing this has got, which my Fiesta ST line hasn't got, and I can get as an option, and I must do, armrest. I love having an armrest in a car. I love all this to drive like this sort of thing.
I do. It's much more comfortable.
To have no armrest, you sort of sink down, you always think there's something missing. Now this is great, and it's a usable one. We have a nice, very deep storage in there.
Very deep.
It is, you can get your arm right down.
You'd lose you in there, could you?
This is, if you shout in there, there'd probably be an echo. But yeah, it's a nice armrest. It's a bit solid plastic, but at the end of the day, it's a usable thing. And yeah, I'm still quite taken with this interior. For all I'm in a Fiesta that's moved up to the next level interior wise.
Yeah, I mean, obviously you can tell it's not the newest generation. However, everything in it is designed to be functional. The seats are really comfortable without being too aggressive.
Yeah, true, yeah.
You've got a decent quality radio, you've got your cool creature comforts like your aircon, your heated steering wheel, sorry, not heated steering wheel, your aircon, your heated windscreen, your heated seats. You've got your pedals down there that are nicely, nicely aggressive.
The sports pedals with the round rubber grips, whereas they're slightly different to the ones in my ST line now, but they're still a good pedal. I really would have liked to see, which I've even got in mine, a dead pedal to rest your foot on.
Yeah.
It may only be a black plastic trim one, but it's there, and it's not in this.
You've got a full adjustment on the steering column as well. It is manual adjustment, but it is fully adjustable. You've got reach and rake.
Yeah, you've got all your standard reach and rake things.
Seats, they are manually adjustable, but very comfortable. And like I say, of course, heated.
They're great, and with heated seats, you can always play the heated seat game. It's a must.
Game, that.
It's a must. Is that seal notices first, but. As I mentioned before, even so this is the Mk7 ST, and we know that the Mk8 has an all new exhaust note now.
We do.
Which sounds the dogs, as we know. This, let's not forget, has its own distinctive little note to it.
It does, it's nice, it's a subtle little verbal really.
It is. I have picked up on a slight little whistle to the turbo.
That's quite nice.
There is a slight turbo whistle to this. I'll just demonstrate.
Oh yeah, it's got that's quite.
Hasn't it got a nice little grunt to it? It certainly has still got that grunt to it. As we say, the lovely 6-speed gearbox in this. It's a joy to change in this car.
It's a really sweet gearbox, isn't it?
It's not lost anything as this Fiesta ST. It may be the older brother of the two now, but it has certainly not lost any punch at all.
Just the cornering, just.
Oh, and that is a nice sound.
Well, literally, they're only doing 40 miles an hour.
We have to round here, but
and it still goes round corners like it's on rail.
Even in that, at that speed, that is all you get, and it's such a nice, straight away, a lovely burble to it still.
I actually didn't know the Maybach kind of.
Do you know, I've forgotten that the Fiesta ST actually had this little note to it. Yes, the Mk8 has got its own little cracks and popples now that made that unique, but this has really got it going on as well. It's certainly still up there, is this? Basically, this drive on this, to say it's on stiffened suspension as well.
Yep.
It really, it's a bit forgiving, is this suspension?
Slightly forgiving, it is firm, but there is a little bit of give there. This is completely stock, this car, it's not had any modification, so it's completely as it should be.
Yeah, it is as it is. No mods to it in any shape or form.
But yeah, it's a firm ride, but it has to be a firm ride for the handling purposes. Yeah. But there is a slight bit of give. It's not quite as aggressive as I actually thought it was going to be.
I still believe it corners like a bloody housefly, does this thing.
It does.
It's brilliant around the bends, and I've got to say it, I'm a big fan of Ford's Recaro seats. I really love these seats.
Like I said, they just give you enough support, but without being too aggressive and uncomfortable.
Yeah. I can sink into these seats all day long. They're absolutely brilliant. I think they've got it bang on how they've laid these seats out and everything. So basically all we can say is bar the little bit of a tired interior now.
Yeah.
Not then it was brilliant then, but now it's
a little bit showing its age a little bit. Having said that, it will do, because it is the old generation of the car. So yeah.
So you see, bar this interior, which I'd live with a car like this all day long. There's nothing much you can say as bad points with this at all.
No.
This Fiesta ST, I still think holds its own.
Yeah.
And I'd even go out on a limb to say it holds its own compared to the new one.
Yeah.
I think it's in its own league now.
Yeah.
The latest one, the Mk8, it's a bit of a technical exercise with its interior and how things have changed and how it drives. And I hope to eventually be able to get my hands on one of them to do so properly.
Yeah.
But this has not lost anything.
It's really nice. I mean, really comfortable. You've got all the basic creature comforts that you could possibly want, I think, pretty much.
Well, what more would you want from this? At the end of the day, it's a driver's car. That's what these STs are all about, isn't it?
It is. And it's still practical. It's got a decent sized boot, same as any other Fiesta.
Yeah, it has.
You know, you've got a decent amount of room in the back, considering that it's only a 3-door.
This is what I like about cars like this. You can have the sort of sporty thrills, but with the practicality.
Exactly, you're not compromising anything, are you?
No, you're not. And I believe these wheels that it's sat on will be these standard 17-inch alloy wheels.
It looks that way, yeah.
So the ride and everything, the suspension and the wheels all coupled together, it's just a nice package.
Brakes good.
Brakes well. It's still a very tight car to drive, is this, and it's a little bit more twitchy, I'd say, than the Mk8.
Yeah.
How can I say it? This feels more alive.
Yeah. Well, I suppose that's the general idea, isn't it?
It looks aggressive on the outside. It feels just that bit more alive. It feels more willing to be thrown about.
Yeah.
Basically, as a car. We obviously know it's not as powerful or as quick as the Mk8 Fiesta ST now, but that was obviously to be expected.
They upgrade everything with each generation, don't they?
But what you do find is 90% of these as well get modded in such a way that the brake horsepower is absolutely stonkingly strange.
They're easily modifiable.
They are these, and do you know, it's nice to see one just like this.
Well, I think to review one properly, you've got to take a stock example, haven't you? Because
you have.
This is how they came. But yeah, it's nice to see one that has been.
I still can't. I've got to stress this. I still can't get over these mirrors on this. I've forgotten how insect-like they seem. They're very pointed.
They are, aren't they?
They're sort of, I don't know. Is it because I'm used to my mirrors on my ST line now? They seem big and chunky, but more rounded. And these seem very sleek and really pointing out.
Yeah.
But you've got some damn good vision out of them, I'll give you that.
Yeah, well, they certainly serve a purpose.
Yeah, they certainly do, and it feels a very airy big space. I don't know why.
I think the windscreen's set very far back, so it does give a feeling of space.
It also feels, I don't know, they say the Mk8 Fiesta is bigger slightly than this, but this sort of does feel big itself as well.
Yeah, yeah.
It is a surprisingly good hatch, and I forgot, I will be honest, and as me being a Ford member, I've actually forgot how good these are.
You see so many of them on the road that you kind of take for granted.
You do, and I do know, and I will stress this is a popular colour, but it's a colour I like.
Yeah.
I have said I'd love black or maybe this colour to have one myself.
Yeah.
But yeah, it seems to be the flagship colour, this.
Well, like I mentioned before on Overdrive, certain cars seem to have we put it a signature colour.
Yeah.
And I think this is it for this particular car.
Yeah, everything with this car is styling, the colour, the wheels, how they are, the red calipers.
Yeah.
I think it all goes well. It all complements itself very well with all the colours and how it's styled. We've just passed a red one. Now the red one just didn't seem to stand out the same.
It doesn't, and I do like the colour, but yes, you're right, it's not quite as...
At the end of the day, well, the red one is just the same red as what my Fiesta ST line is, but for some reason that Fiesta ST in the red doesn't stand out the same as what this one does.
No.
I think if I was looking for one, I'd want to find one in this colour with this spec. So, yeah.
Like we mentioned, we believe this one is an ST2. Obviously they did three, they did ST1, ST2 and ST3.
These were the sort of trim levels, weren't
So this one appears to be a middle of the road model.
It does, yeah. We're looking at it, probably an ST2.
But again, got everything that you need in it.
You've got everything you need. You're not probably losing much between ST2 and 3, to be fair.
I think the big difference is when you go from an ST1 to an ST2.
Yes, that's when you lose your sort of some, let's say, creature comforts and things on that.
Yeah.
ST2 to ST3, not really.
There's not a huge
I've had it in Focus as we both, and there's no.
You don't miss anything, do you?
You don't. It's like I've said before. These are drivers' cars, and you're not really going to be that fussed about some toys you might be missing or some little creature comforts. It doesn't matter. Which is why I would still live with this interior now.
Yeah.
Even today, I've got a display, I can see it clear enough, it does its job. Stereo's excellent,
yeah.
The gauges are fine. What more could you want? It's still doing its job.
It certainly is.
So we also said that this car also, with its 179 brake horsepower, and from its 1.64 cylinder EcoBoost engine, also has what we call an overboost feature. And this is something I found out when I saw someone basically drag racing one, and they put it up against a certain car, which I forget, but that's by the by. And when both cars shot off, the person driving the Fiesta ST said that this does have an overboost feature which can last around 12 seconds. And it just suddenly kicks in, no warning, it just kicks in, and it can up the power to 199 brake horsepower. Which is great for 12 seconds, but then it's gone.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
So it's just a little party piece, but it gives it that little bit of oomph.
It certainly does, just when you need it, really.
Yeah, and I really like the EcoBoost engine as a whole, actually. We know the Mk8 has its 1.53 cylinder one, obviously a bit power with that, as you'd expect with its, even on the ST3 model, its launch control and things like that. But I still think to total around in this does feel still tight, still feels aggressive.
Sorry viewers, I have got the lurgy.
It's got the lurgy.
But yes.
It's certainly not any sort of, oh look, that's a distractor. A black one now.
That's an ST Line, that is. A Z-Tech S, sorry.
It was a Z-Tech S, and seeing it coming towards looked like...
Badge is an ST, I should point out.
Yeah, someone had put an ST badge on the front. Very clever, very clever. You can't deny original.
You can't, can you?
But I was nearly going to say they're all coming out today.
Yes, it certainly seems Ford-day today, viewers.
It certainly does.
Yes, it's been lovely to spend time with this car.
That's a nice.
And I suppose we should pretty much wrap up the talking for this feature.
Do you know what?
How can you summarise it?
I can summarise this basically as, you know, I've got an ST line myself at the moment. I've had plenty of my STs in Focus form and stuff, but never a Fiesta ST.
Yeah.
I'm in them sort of minds, should I get the new Fiesta ST, and I think at some time I probably will.
I think it's going to be inevitable.
But driving this, I would still, and I say still, I'd have one of these.
Well, I think for me, it's been a wonderful experience going with the ST. Obviously, you see a lot of them on the road every day, but you forget. I think because of that, you forget actually how good they are.
Yeah, you do. It's nice to see a stock one that's...
It certainly is. I'm not against modifying cars in any way, but it is nice to see our as nature intended, so to speak.
Definitely.
But yes, brilliant. And very much thanks to the owner for letting us.
Yes, thank you, Nicola, for allowing this.
Borrow the car. Martin does need to get it back to her now.
I will have to get it back.
But yeah, it's been great. Very much enjoyed filming it today.
I think we'll let the sort of the car and the engine note and everything speak for itself, let's say.
So we're going to sign off. So hope you enjoyed it. We've certainly enjoyed filming it.
I'm going to drop this guy off now.
He's dropping me off now.
And obviously get the car back and hand the keys over. And with a big
I know
grin,
you don't want to.
with a big grin on my face, as I always do, because I just absolutely love my Fords.
But yeah, thanks very much for watching the video, and we'll see you next time.
But we will with another car.
We will.
So we will catch you soon.
Bye.
And off we go.